I'm not saying be no snitch, but I'm saying stand up for what's wrong. When everybody else want to go wrong, you got to go right. You got to have courage. I'm sick of scared Christians. I'm sick of Christians that won't speak up. I'm sick of Christians that allow folks to bully them and run them over. You got to have courage, because courage will show that you're not afraid of what's coming, because we got a God that can do anything but fail. Let the church say courage. Not only should we have courage, but we got to have a passion. I'm afraid of folk that don't have a passion for nothing. Don't have a passion. We got to have a passion for Trayvon Martin. We got to have a passion. If Trayvon Martin death haven't done anything for you, it should have put a passion under you. A passion to want to see justice done. A passion to want to do the right thing. A passion to check on your children. It used to be a commercial that said, it's 8 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? And I suggest to you, my brothers and my sisters, you ought to have a passion to check your children's homework. You ought to have a passion to look on their Facebook page every now and then. You ought to have a passion to check their cell phone that you're paying for anyway. You ought to have a passion to have a curfew for your children. You ought to have a passion to have courage and have a passion that you're going to do the right thing irregardless of what the world is doing. We have to dare to be different, church. Because if we don't dare to be different, we're just like the world. What good is it to do the things that the world is doing? What good is it that we can't stand on our own 2 feet? What good is it that we have to look to the world for strength when the world should be looking to the church for strength? One thing that Trayvon Martin, mother and father, said, that we're going to put our faith in the Lord. They said, pray for us. They had enough sense to ask for prayer. My brothers and my sisters, in the midst of our passion, we got to have prayer. And I'm not just talking about a prayer visual, but we got to pray in the morning. We got to pray at noonday. We got to pray in the evening. We got to wake up pray. We got to go to bed pray. When we driving in our car, we got to pray. But we just can't pray. We got to do something. We got to have courage. We got to have passion. But finally, Trayvon Martin gave us a purpose. My brothers and my sisters, tonight, if it's going to pay off, and we're going to have patience, and I think we ought to have a little patience with the justice system. But if the justice system is too slow, we got to keep on our post. This is not a time for folk to be scared. It's not a time for folk to run with their tail between the legs. It's not a time for folk to be jelly back. It's time for folk to stand up with a purpose, because now we got a purpose. It's more than just wearing a hoodie. It's more than just worrying about Skittles and Arizona. But it's a soul that has been lost, and that's the thing that we have to fight for, because there's nothing more precious on this earth than a soul. When the last time you hugged your daughter, or when the last time you hugged your son? When the last time you told them you love them? We got to have a passion and a purpose to do the right thing. And I want to know tonight, is there anybody in Tabernacle that got a little passion, that got some courage, that got a purpose, and you're going to do the right thing? Well, my brothers and my sisters, it's not a time for us to be divided. It's the time for us to stand up and be counted. It's not a time for us to sit on our soapbox and just yell out and spew things out. It's a time for us to get on the phone and sign those petitions. Back in the day, folks signed petitions. It wasn't so much that Rosa Parks, people talk about all she did was sit down, but Rosa Parks made a statement. She said, I'm too tired to go to the back of the bus. We got to make a statement that's going to change society. We got to make a statement. We leave too many people home on Sunday. We leave too many people home. We don't bring them to church. We don't get them to the Lord. And let me tell you something. As I said at a funeral last week that I did, it's a shame that, you can't walk in church, but it takes 6 men to roll you in church. We got to understand that we got to get our people together, because everything started in the church. And so, we got to have courage. We got to have a passion. And we got to have a purpose. Listen, y'all. Don't believe everything that come on CNN. Don't believe everything that come on Channel 7. As much as I like Channel 7, my favorite news, I don't look at no other news channel but Channel 7. But I don't believe everything they say.